If you tend to procrastinate, there is a very simple solution which I call the snow shoveling strategy. And in this video I'm going to tell you how to apply this strategy, how it works, and hopefully you will procrastinate much less. Let's say you have a deadline. You have to finish the presentation in 2 weeks, and you are going to start working on it tonight. Well, most likely, if you are a normal human being, you are going to procrastinate. And you are going to procrastinate until there are 2 or 3 days before the deadline. And the reason why you are going to procrastinate so much is very simple. You are trying to be proactive. Proactive means that you initiate some action by your own will, without any push, without any necessity to do it right now. You're just trying to do it by your own initiative. And research suggests that this kind of effort is extremely expensive for our prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for the willpower. And you know that it's actually really hard, and it could be even painful when you try to do it without any external pressure. Like, compare it to the situation when you don't have to be proactive. Like when your colleague calls you and she asks you to send an email with a follow-up, like from your last meeting, and she asks you to do it right during the call, not later. And somehow you find a lot of energy to do it, and it's really easy. And it happens because you are not proactive, you are reactive. There is some external source of pressure that makes you to work without any willpower efforts. They're just not necessary. It's like, imagine the falling snow. You have a shovel and the snow falls in your backyard near your garage, and this snow blocks your road. So you simply use this shovel to clean this, to shovel the snow. And you know, it's not even a question to do it or not, because this type of task is reactive. You just react to the falling snow. And the problem is that this kind of tasks are not really moving you toward your goals. Like in your business, in your career, in your creative projects, only proactive tasks are really helping you to do some kind of progress. So I'm going to tell you about the snow shoveling strategy that helps you to transform proactive tasks into reactive tasks. In Dance, Dance, Dance by Haruki Murakami, the narrator tells us about his writer job. And he's using a really beautiful analogy of shoveling the snow. Like, he's a writer and he gets requests to write an article before 6 a.m. or something, and he just finishes before the deadline. And then he gets the next article with another urgent deadline. So it's like the snow that consists of these simple tasks is falling, and all he needs to do is just to use his shovel, just to shovel this another piece of snow that falls on the road. Simple as that. And you know, somehow this picture set deeply into my mind. That's why I'm referring to this method as to the snow shoveling strategy. So let me share with you the key ingredients of the snow shoveling strategy. You have to make other people to schedule meetings with you, and you have to attend these meetings, and you are required to do one task, one simple task that will move you toward your goal during this call. So there are 4 parts in this formula, and each of these parts are crucial. First of all, I said that you have to make other people to schedule meetings with you, and I mean that you literally have to find some incentives for these people to schedule meetings with you. It could be your virtual assistant, it could be your colleague or your friend, but you have to figure out a way so they will regularly schedule these meetings with you, like using Calendly or something really simple. And the second part of this formula is scheduling. I mean that people actually have to schedule. They have to book some time in your calendar, so you know that you don't have anything, that you can't plan anything at this time. And the third part of this formula is that you have to attend these meetings. And if you don't do it, if you skip this meeting or call, then you pay something. You bear some social costs or monetary costs. And the last part is to make some task that moves you toward your goal. Some kind of proactive task that becomes a reactive task because somebody pushes you during this call. So you have to do this task during the call. You can finish a bit later, like in 20 or 30 minutes before the call, after the call, but you cannot start before the call, and you cannot start after the call. Like, you have to do it when there is some kind of external pressure that makes you to do this important stuff. So you don't have to be proactive. And the best part of this system is that you don't have to dial somebody or schedule a meeting. It's just people calling you and they're making you to do some kind of tasks. It's like the snow is falling and you just shoveling the snow. You simply react. So try this strategy and you will notice that you have much more energy for complex creative tasks, for some kind of deep work, and that you actually making a progress. And I actually applied this strategy a lot. I got the inspiration for the strategy from my friend who is working for the major IT company. And instead of managing all 30 or 40 projects that he has proactively, he simply asked his team to schedule 15 minutes calls with him every day with a very straightforward agenda. So he basically has to pick up the phone each time it rings and answer some questions, give some feedback, check some work, and he's just shoveling the snow and the snow is falling. I personally using this approach in my business in Bullet Point VC, and without this system I tend to procrastinate on checking the pitch decks drafts. It's like our major product, pitch decks for startups, and I tend to procrastinate a lot and I become a bottleneck in this entire production process. So now I simply ask my analysts to schedule 15 minutes calls with me, and during these calls they ask me to check the pitch decks, and I do corrections, I provide some feedback and advice and do some coaching during this call. Like the snow is falling and I just shoveling the snow. For creative projects, the same. I just ask my assistant to schedule 15 minutes calls every night from 5 to 7 p.m. anytime that he prefers, and he makes me to do some kind of task. If I don't do it, or if I don't pick up the phone, then I have to pay some money to him, like $20, and that's the actual agreement. So it helps me to do tasks like hiring editor or videographer, and I never ever skip these calls because I hate losing money, and the snow is just falling and I just shoveling the snow. So try this approach and probably you will be surprised how much less you procrastinate using the snow shoveling strategy. Just get the fucking shovel. So please subscribe for this channel and hit the like button and all the stuff, and you will see new episodes with new insights that I mined specifically to boost productivity or to make some progress in my creative goals or to achieve some results in business. So subscribe for this channel and you will get new updates with new insights that you can apply in your business, in your life, or in your creative career. Thank you.